Have you ever lain still in the middle of the night, the ceiling dark as a bottomless well, and realized one piercing truth? No rescue team is on its way. The messages you sent fall into silence. The names that once promised to stay vanish like smoke. The hands that were once warm are now only cold memories. That feeling is like being left stranded on the shore. The boat sails on while you stand watching. Be honest. How many times have you been in that very moment? How many times have you twisted inside asking why me? And then one day the answer hits you square in the face. Strength is not born from soft pillows. It is forged in long nights and broken promises, in mornings when no one calls your name, but you still rise. Look at a soldier returning home. Scars don't make him weaker. They make his eyes incapable of fear. Look at an entrepreneur who failed 3 times. Each time the bricks collapsed, he rebuilt the foundation with his own hands, sleeping on the workshop floor so the dream wouldn't freeze to death. Look at a champion once abandoned. When he refused to be a tame copy of the crowd, they threw stones at him, but he returned to the arena standing tall, crowning himself king. The common thread? No one lowered a rope for them. They hammered in the first rungs themselves. And in that exact moment, they cross a line from being judged to become the one who delivers judgment over their own fate. Do you want the comforting story or the real one? The world doesn't bow to the well-behaved. The world only steps back for the one who cannot be broken. As for fairness, it's just a lullaby to keep you still. If you're still here, it means you're strong enough to swallow this truth without sugar. So do one thing right now to sever the old life. Type these 6 words. No rescue. I sign my order. Don't delay. You are signing the order that saves your own life. This is not an opening. This is a vow. From this sentence onward, you stop waiting for someone else to flip the switch. You pull the lever yourself. And when the light comes on, you'll see there was no miracle at all. Only a human being who finally decided to stand on their own side. Everyone says they crave freedom, but most don't truly understand what freedom is. They think freedom means doing whatever they feel like, skipping training when sad, working half-heartedly when happy, delaying whenever tired. It sounds tempting, but the truth is, that's not freedom. That's a golden chain of fleeting desires. Muhammad Ali once confessed, "I hated every minute of training, but I told myself, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." He didn't wait for inspiration to knock on his door. He broke down the gym door with discipline. And that is what carved his name into the history of boxing. And Elon Musk, when Tesla ran out of money on the edge of bankruptcy, he didn't chase shortcuts. He slept on the factory roof, working nearly 20 hours a day, not because he was addicted to pain, but because he knew discipline is the last safety rope that keeps a dream from falling into the abyss. Discipline is the unsigned contract you sign with yourself every morning. It says, even if I'm sad, even if I'm tired, even if the whole world turns its back, I will still do it. This requirement is given to those who live by motivation will always be slaves to emotion. Those who live by discipline become the ones steering the wheel. Now look back. How many times have you failed simply because you waited for inspiration? How many times did you allow yourself to prolong delay only to pay with opportunities that never returned? That wasn't time's fault. That was the tax you paid for a life without discipline. Small victories today. Waking up on time, reading 10 pages, finishing the hardest task first thing in the morning, are the first bricks that build the wall of freedom. Freedom does not come from chasing desires. It comes when you can command yourself even in your weakest moments. And now be honest with yourself. Do you dare make a vow right this second? Write this down. Discipline unlocks my freedom. Don't just write it for show. Turn it into a death sentence for procrastination. Because the moment you speak this, you have crossed a threshold. The threshold where discipline becomes the key that unlocks all freedom. You now have discipline, the foundation to stand firm. But a house, no matter how solid the foundation, will collapse without pillars. And that pillar is focus. People don't fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they shatter their strength into fragments. They want to try everything, open 10 paths. But in the end, not a single path leads anywhere. Remember Steve Jobs' story? When he returned to Apple, he saw the company producing dozens of different products, yet none of them made an impact. Jobs picked up a marker, drew a cross on the board, and cut almost everything. He kept 4, just 4. And from that ruthless decision came the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone. Inventions that reshaped the world. In the ring, Muhammad Ali didn't try to become a complete fighter. He chose speed and evasion as his weapons. He poured all his strength into that single edge, and it was enough to make him an immortal legend. And what about you? How many times have you opened your computer to work only to drown in dozens of useless tabs? How many times have you planned to write a page only to be chained by pointless conversations and endless notifications? Each time you scatter yourself, you're stealing from your own life. Hours, months, even years. Focus is like turning scattered heat into a laser beam. A normal beam of light only illuminates a room, but when concentrated, it can pierce through steel. So what must you do? Carve an invisible wall around your focus. Build an inner fortress where no noise, no gossip, no temptation can penetrate. Write this down. Focus is my fortress. This is not just a sentence. This is the electric fence protecting your future. And to make it real, I challenge you with a micro-challenge. Tomorrow, write down the 3 most important tasks. Just 3. And swear to complete them before touching anything else. Before the phone, before email, before entertainment. You'll be surprised to see just one day of ruthless focus makes the world clearer, the goal closer, and you feel as if you've unlocked a source of energy you never knew you had. You can sharpen a sword to the finest edge, but if you draw it once and then let it rust, it becomes worthless. It is consistency, the repeated action day after day, that turns a blade into an indestructible weapon. Think of Thomas Edison. He failed more than 1,000 times before the light bulb finally shone. People mocked him, called him insane. But Edison calmly replied, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just discovered 1,000 ways that don't work." Because of that consistency, the darkness of humanity bowed before him. In soccer, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't rely only on natural talent. He became a legend because for years when his teammates had gone home, he stayed to train more. Decades of relentless consistency transformed him from a skinny boy into a symbol of strength and discipline. And you? How many times have you started a habit with burning fire only to quit after a few weeks? How many times have you sworn to change only to circle back to the starting line? The truth is no one fails because of one lazy day. People fail because they don't rise the next day. Picture a drop of water falling onto stone. One drop does nothing, but 1,000,000 drops can carve through a mountain. That is the image of consistency, silent but unstoppable. So from today, carve this vow into yourself. Consistency makes me unstoppable. Don't treat this as a slogan on a wall. Treat it as a death sentence for procrastination. Here's your micro-challenge. Choose one small action. Read 10 pages. Train for 20 minutes. Write a short journal entry. And repeat it for 30 days straight. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to not stop. Because in the end, greatness is not fireworks exploding for a moment. Greatness is the echo of thousands of quiet days unbroken. And when you live consistently, failure cannot destroy you. One bad day cannot erase the mountain you built. Success will no longer be a question of if, but only of when. There will be days when, no matter how consistent you are, life will still throw unexpected punches at your face. Plans collapse. A trusted friend turns away. A door you thought was certain to open slams shut without warning. You look in the mirror and ask, do I still have the strength to rise? Napoleon Bonaparte once tasted humiliating defeat, was exiled, and seemed finished, but he refused to accept fate. From exile, he returned, raised a new army, and made all of Europe tremble once more. J.K. Rowling also stood at the edge of despair. A single mother living on welfare. Her manuscripts rejected again and again, but she didn't let wounds become the grave of her dream. She kept writing, and from those ashes, Harry Potter was born, changing world literature forever. What do they have in common? It's not about avoiding failure. It's about using failure as raw material. Resilience is not just standing back up. Resilience is standing up with stronger bones, thicker skin, sharper eyes. And you, how many times have you let a rejection become the final chapter? How many times have you treated a small failure like a life sentence? In truth, it was only life's test. Do you have the strength to become unbreakable? Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure. Mountains are born from collisions. And humans only truly grow when they learn to stand firm in the storm. Now make a vow to yourself. I rise after every storm. This is not a pretty phrase to write down. This is a shield you raise each time the waves crash. Here's your micro challenge. The next time a plan falls apart, an opportunity disappears. Don't curse. Don't complain. Sit down, open your notebook, and write exactly 2 sentences. What did I learn? What will I do differently next time? Do this, and you turn wounds into lessons, pain into teachers, failure itself into a stepping stone. Because your strength is not proven on easy days. It only truly reveals itself when you stand tall, even when everything tries to make you fall. Most people fear silence. They try to fill every gap with noise, endless scrolling on social media, blasting music to cover emptiness, pointless chatter just to avoid sitting alone with themselves. But all that noise hides the most important thing, your inner voice. Friedrich Nietzsche chose the opposite path. He withdrew to the Swiss mountains, lived alone, and faced brutal solitude. And from that silence came the books that shook modern philosophy. Without those years of solitude, the world would never have known thus spoke Zarathustra. Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, once admitted, "All the best things I ever built started when I was alone with computer. No crowd, no grand meetings, just one man and an idea in silence." Solitude is not emptiness. It is a forge of the soul. When the audience disappears, masks fall, and you see both the cracks and the light within yourself. And it is in that moment you discover your true strength, the strength of self-mastery. Ask yourself, do you dare to sit alone without a phone, without music, without conversation, just you and the thoughts you've never dared to face? If that makes you restless, trembling, anxious, it's a sign you haven't truly mastered yourself. But if you turn solitude into an ally, it becomes a silent fortress, a place where you sharpen willpower, clarify thought, and nurture the fire. The crowd will never understand. Make this vow. Solitude is my forge. This is not just a sentence. It is your passport out of slavery to noise. Here's your micro challenge. Spend 1 hour each day in absolute silence. No phone, no notifications, just you, a notebook, and your stream of thoughts. Write down whatever rises to the surface. You'll be amazed to see how many ideas, truths, and desires, long buried, suddenly awaken. Because when you learn to stand strong in solitude, you gain the power to step into the crowd with a presence that makes the whole world listen. You may have massive dreams, a sharp intellect, and a burning will, but if your energy leaks, if your mind is occupied, all of it turns to ashes. Energy and mind are your 2 most precious assets, and also the easiest to be stolen. The Japanese samurai understood this well. They didn't just train in swordsmanship. They trained the spirit. One strike decided life or death. So every breath, every movement had to be precise and economical. They wasted no energy on meaningless anger or invisible fears. In our time, look at Elon Musk. He doesn't have infinite energy, but he knows how to channel every drop into worthy battlefields. Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, while others burn energy in parties or pointless arguments, he gathers us to turn ideas into rockets that leave Earth. And the mind, Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." A trained mind is like a stone fortress. Others may knock at the gate, but they cannot enter. And you, how many times have you woken up full of energy, only to have a few minutes of scrolling drain your morning? How many times has a single negative comment haunted you for an entire day? It's not because you are weak, but because you've handed others the keys to your fortress. It's time you become the general commanding the armies called energy and mind. Strategies to master energy. Protect the morning. The first hour after waking is golden. Use it for movement, reading, or writing goals. No social media. the less but better rule. Cut at least one energy-draining activity every day. Your body is the battery. Train 20-30 minutes. Eat clean. Sleep enough. When the body collapses, the spirit goes dark with it. Strategies to master the mind. Power self-talk. Never say, I can't. Replace it with, I am learning to conquer this. Instant replacement. When a negative thought appears, immediately switch it with a strategic one. Stoic day. Spend 24 hours reacting to everything with reason. No complaints, no anger, only calm observation and deliberate action. Now take this vow. My energy serves only purpose. My mind is my fortress. This is not a slogan. This is a military command you issue to yourself. Micro challenge. Turn off all notifications on your phone for the next 24 hours. Just one small action, but you'll see how much energy and focus flow back to you. Because energy is fuel, mind is a steering wheel, and when both are trained, you become a war machine that cannot be stopped. A sharp mind trapped in a weak body is no different from a brilliant general chained at the feet. Willpower may soar, but if the legs cannot move, everything remains a dream. If you want to become the strongest version of yourself, you must forge your body into a living weapon, resilient, agile, and ready for any battlefield. Think of the Roman gladiators in the arena. They didn't train to flex muscles in front of a mirror. They trained to survive so that every strike they threw carried destiny itself. Their bodies were armor, sword, and decoration all at once. I exist, and I will not be easily conquered. In our time, look at David Goggins. Once an obese man weighing over 300 pounds, drowning in insecurity and despair, but he did not surrender. He turned his body into proof of willpower, becoming a Navy SEAL, running ultramarathons, breaking the world record for pull-ups. He once said, when my body screams stop, I know I've only tapped 40% of my true power. And you, how many times have you promised yourself to train only to delay? How many times have you looked in the mirror and seen a tired body dragging your spirit down with it? You may call yourself strong, but if your body doesn't prove it, you're lying to yourself. It's time to turn the body into a war machine. Strategies to forge the body. The 3 core pillars. 1. Train at least 30 minutes every day. It doesn't matter if it's running, push-ups, or lifting. What matters is consistency. 2. Eat like a warrior. High protein, lots of vegetables, plenty of water, low sugar, low alcohol, low junk. 3. Sleep 78 hours. A warrior cannot fight with hollow eyes from lack of rest. The better than yesterday principle. Every session, add 1 more rep, 1 more minute, 1 more kilogram. Don't compare to others, only to the version of yourself yesterday. The sweat ritual. Treat every drop of sweat as a vow you send to the future. I am forging my weapon. Now make this vow. My body is my weapon. Don't just write it. Turn every movement, every meal, every night of sleep into living proof of this oath. Micro challenge. Tomorrow, as soon as you wake up, dedicate at least 20 minutes to your body. Run, lift, push up, anything. Don't let the day begin with delay. Let the day begin with action. Because when your body becomes a weapon, you are not only stronger, you walk into the world with a presence no one dares to underestimate. One day you will leave this world. The question is not how long did you live, but what remains after you're gone. Alexander the Great died at 32. Yet before that, he had conquered nearly the entire world he knew. His life was short, but his name has lasted over 2,000 years. Steve Jobs didn't live long, but every iPhone in the hands of billions today is his legacy. An ecosystem that changed how humanity communicates, works, and creates. Legacy is not always an empire. It can be as simple as a father teaching his son discipline, a teacher igniting fire in a student's heart, a leader inspiring a team to break their own limits. Legacy is not measured by how many know you, but by how many never forget you. And to build a legacy, you have only one ingredient: time. Time is the most ruthless enemy. Money can be earned back, but an hour lost never returns. Every second either builds you or buries you. Benjamin Franklin understood this well. He divided his day into disciplined blocks: starting with the question, what good shall I do today? And ending with, what good have I done today? That rigor turned him into one of the most versatile men in history. And you, how many mornings have you lost inside your phone? How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, only for a year to pass with nothing changed? Understand this. Every time you procrastinate, you don't just lose time, you lose your life. Practice strategies. Legacy letter. Write a letter to your future self or your children. How do I want to be remembered? Legacy cutting principle. Remove at least one meaningless thing each day. An hour of scrolling. An empty conversation. 24-hour management. Divide your day into 3 blocks. Morning for self-training, learning. Afternoon for meaningful work. Evening for family or creation. Now take this vow. I build what outlives me. I command time. I command life. Micro challenge tomorrow. Choose exactly one thing, just one, that you know will leave lasting value. Do it before everything else. See it as the first brick in the structure of your legacy. Because in the end, you do not live just for today. You are building an empire that will stand even when you are gone. No empire was ever built by one man alone. Solitude forges willpower, but brotherhood creates history. Look at the Roman legions. A lone warrior, no matter how strong, could be struck down, but an entire formation, shields locked, spears aligned, became a steel wall nothing could break. In modern times, the Navy SEALs don't choose teammates for being the strongest, but for never leaving a brother behind. Because they know a lone man can win a battle, but only brotherhood can win a war. And you, who stand beside you, do they drag you down or lift you higher? You are the average of the 5 people closest to you. If you surround yourself with the weak, the complainers, the aimless, you will become one of them. But if you walk with the disciplined, the ambitious, the resilient, you will be forced to rise to their level. Strategies to build allies. Round table rule. Look at the 5 people nearest you. If none earn your respect, you're sitting at the wrong table. Strategic alliance. Choose one partner for your greatest journey. The one who will pull you back when you want to quit. Iron sharpens iron. 1 blade dulls alone. 2 blades sharpen each other. True allies don't cuddle you. They challenge you. Now take this vow. I walk with strength. I rise with strength. But even with allies, there is a peak you must climb alone, becoming untouchable. Untouchable doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means pain cannot define you. Untouchable doesn't mean you never fail. It means failure has no right to destroy you. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. Most would break, would become victims. But he walked out unbroken, becoming the unyielding symbol of a nation. Michael Jordan was once cut from his high school team. He could have quit. Instead, he turned humiliation into fuel, trained with obsession, and became the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Strategies to become untouchable. Mirror principle. Each night, look into your eyes and ask, today, where did I defeat myself? Face the invisible enemy. Identify your greatest fear. Confront it daily until it loses power. Presence as weapon. When you're in a room, walk slowly, back straight, eyes steady. Let your presence speak before your words. Picture it. Chaos around you. Others panicking, failure surrounding you. And yet you remain standing, eyes unshaken, spirit unmoved. That's the moment the world realizes. You become untouchable. Now write it down. I am untouchable. Not to boast, but to vow. Once you believe it, you cross a threshold from waiting for permission to granting yourself power. And when you do, something strange happens. Fear shrinks. Obstacles dissolve. Enemies lose their grip. Because you have become what the world cannot touch. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. From today on, every drop of sweat, every choice, every word you write becomes a brick in the fortress of your own untouchable spirit. The only question left is, how much longer will you wait? Let the world hear your vow. I am untouchable.